We're going to talk to Kurt Russell next.
Here.
Rumor has it.
In the new movie Grindhouse.
Yeah.
New Tarantino
That looks
film.
good.
Does that open today?
I don't know, actually.
I know the skating flick opens today. And the reviews in the New York papers are very schizo. One's giving it 3 stars, the other's giving it like a star. Like, where's that movie? Is it
the Will
funny?
Ferrell movie?
Yeah. And John Heder from Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
Okay,
What?
So he'll be here shortly. This is a new Tarantino film. We have Tarantino next week, too. On Tuesday, I think. Quentin Tarantino.
This looks cool. I love the retro trailers for it. Like, brings you right back.
Yeah.
See the trailers for Grindhouse? It's great. It looks like the old, like, early 70s movie trailers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Action, suspense, drama.
We're back with the Opie and Anthony Show. We got to get right into this. We got Kurt Russell in studio. Grindhouse opens next Friday, right, Kurt?
Yeah, it's they're going to unleash it on the 6th.
Yeah, that looks great, man.
It's it's an amazing night. I was at the premiere in Los Angeles and in Austin, Texas, and I think that they get ready for it, but it's just been a long time since there's been a movie done where it's an interactive experience where you yell at the screen. And you try to not turn away.
Yeah, Tarantino also. It's like he puts his name on a movie. People are going to go see it. How is he to work with?
Incredible. His level of knowledge of the industry and the history of it is incredible, and that's what this night is about. It's just a step back in time, to when the double feature was what we did.
That's what makes his movies so cool too. Is like that whole retro thing because he kind of grew up and absorbed all that stuff and puts it in his movie. So if you're the same age as him or around that age, you look at certain things and go, God damn, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and it's kind of like being in his class, his film class. As the years go by and he keeps making movies, you learn more and more and more about film. Through his love for it.
I also like his ability to take people, not you, for example, but someone like Travolta with Pulp Fiction, and actually see the potential that, hey, if I bring this guy into a movie, it's not going to be a goof. Like, what are you bringing this guy into a movie for?
In my instance, one of the things he said to me was, he said, look, you got a rogues gallery of characters, and I want Stuntman Mike to be up there on the wall with them. And he said, I'm sorry, but I want to see you be a badass again. So when I read the script, I went, if you're going to work for Tarantino, you want to be a badass in the Tarantino movie.
Right.
So this guy's a psychotic mess to boot. So it was just a blast.
I know. Just the clip I saw from the trailer is hysterical. You're in that car, and I gather what's the basic gist of the storyline?
It's there's always a sliver of morality to these old Grindhouse films, and this one is that if you're a young girl going to the bar to have a few drinks and you just get a little too loose and you need a ride home, you might be making the mistake of getting into Stuntman Mike's car. So don't do that. Well, and he uses a car like some serial killers, use knives or guns or whatever. But it's it is in the Grindhouse atmosphere of craziness. It's just a blast.
Very retro.
It's funny. It's so crazy that. But at times it's not. At times it's like it was then. It was like it's so shocking or awesome when you look at it. You're stunned for a few minutes. And then 30 seconds later, you're laughing really hard at what just stunned you. So
that's correct.
I love that about
his movies. Nobody does that better than him. And this one's just chock-a-block full of that.
You ever go to a premiere and watch it and then this is not quite what I wanted.
Sure. That happens all the time. Every time you go to work, you try to do something you hope is going to really work for the audience and the style of movie that you're doing.
Speaking of premieres, I got a quick story. Poseidon, you were in Poseidon. Right. And I was actually in the theater when you watched it for the first time. I told the story on the air, and I'm with my girlfriend, and I see Kurt Russell, you're about 5-6 rows in front of us, and you're going down the aisle trying to find a seat. And you sit right next to this girl. She has no idea it's you. I don't even know if you're going to remember this. That's fine. But I was observing this whole thing. She goes, that seat's taken. And I want to stand up and go, that's Kurt Russell. He's in the movie. Let him sit wherever the hell he wants. And you were so polite, I'm sorry. And then you found another seat.
Sure, that's okay by me.
Got up. Wow.
And then I'm watching you watch yourself on the big screen, which I just thought was beyond bizarre to me.
I actually got to do one scene in that movie that I really wanted to do, was the drowning scene. It was
amazing. That was sick. I didn't see that coming. It was one of those moments where you're like, oh my God, they're going to kill him off.
That was the entire fun of it.
See, I like the remake, though. I know a lot of people, but I really enjoyed it. It was so close to being a really, really good movie.
And it got right to the action, yeah.
Yeah, the action scenes were amazing. Yeah, it just went right for it. And your scene when you drowned was, wow, it was really good. And I think you left right after that. You're like, all right, I don't need to see
want to see that. That's all I wanted to see. And
there's going to be no sexy Shelley Winters up the dress shot, so why stick around?
Why stick
What's
around?
left?
I know how this ends. I'm done. I came to see myself, let's be honest.
And obviously you got to be sick of talking about it because everybody asks you about it, but Gilligan's Island. Kurt was on Gilligan's Island. I love seeing mega stars on these cool little...
I did a lot of Gilligan's Island type things, you know what I mean?
Was that your first thing, though, that you ever did?
No. Unfortunately, I've been around a long time before that.
Yeah, we all grew up watching you with the Disney films.
No, I started
Disney films. I was a little nothing.
The computer wore tennis shoes.
Wait till you see. As a matter of fact, believe it or not, I mean, the weird thing about those days was when Quentin was getting ready to do Grindhouse, he said, I'm going to show you a night because we're going to have a couple movies, and he said, I'm going to have a lot. He's going to have an hour and a half of coming attractions. He said, that'll really show you what it was about. And two of them were Disney movies that I had done. Oh, and it reminded me that's right. I used to sometimes go to the theater and you'd see a horror film or something, and you'd see, a coming attraction for a Disney picture. And they were you didn't know what you were going to get. And that was the fun of the night, too. You didn't know what was coming next.
Yeah.
So it was at that night at Quentin's was really fun because I think everybody at that point, because a lot of young people that were going to be in the movie they'd never experienced that. And they kind of really, they began to get the idea of what this was.
We were talking about trailers for movies earlier and how they've changed over the years, and when you see one from years ago, it brings you right back and you just, action, suspense, you'll be at the edge of your seat.
And the voice quality of those guys, one of my favorites is just keep telling yourself over and over, it's just
They did that.
These were the kind of flicks that you told your mom you'd seen Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid twice, so you really knew it well. Then you told your mom and dad, we're going to go see that again. And you snuck off to go see the picture where these versions will be violated in ways you can't imagine. You know what I mean? So you could talk about it on Monday. Yeah. And the only question you had Monday morning was, did you ever look away from the screen? Did you watch the whole thing? And never once could a guy say, I watched the whole thing. It was like, no, man, I couldn't turn away when that thing was happening. We're eating the rats. Oh, man.
No one will be seated during the basement sequence. What happens in the basement? And it's great. It's a lost art.
You know what? It's cool, and at the same time, I think the thing that I experienced the most that was really exceptional was how, not just the detail with which Robert and Quentin wanted to do this night, but in Quentin's movie, it's got that Quentin Pulp Fiction feeling, which is this is dead on. This is dead on, and these people aren't doing camp or anything. They're doing the movie, and there's an accident in that's it's the most shocking thing I've ever seen. It's just unbelievably shot.
He had a problem. He had to cut a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah, well, some of it was just
just way over the top.
Well, no, it's just some of it was just you couldn't use
director's cut DVD.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
By the way, that's coming out.
That's what's so great about the movies that come out now, because I'm sure you as an actor and directors, they get frustrated, like, oh, this is such a great scene, and I got to cut it to get the ratings. Where
years ago you'd never see those.
You would never see it, but now at least with the DVD. You're going to see all this extra stuff.
One of the things I think needs clarification is the night of Grindhouse is two movies. It's two full movies. Rodriguez's movie is Planet Terror. Then there's coming attractions for movies that don't exist. And then there's the next movie, which is Death Proof. Now, when they go out on the DVD, they're going to go out separately, and when they go to Europe, it's going to go. Separately. Like we're going to the Cannes Film Festival.
Wow.
So, but it's it can cover that base.
This is the first movie in a while I'm very excited to see.
Oh hell yeah!
Can I tell you something?
I'm serious.
I can tell you something. You guys are going to have a blast. The amazing thing about this movie that I watched is that at the end of the movie, it's a female empowering movie, and the women just the two screens I've seen, they just stand up and give it a standing O.
Really?
Because they did not see this coming.
Oh, cool.
And it's hard to get that message out there But, you know, these were pictures where girls used to like to go to them because they knew it was an excuse for the guy to, like, semi-protect them at times. You know what I mean? And you knew that, too. But at the end of the day here, there's some twists on these two films.
Are you selling this as a chick flick?
It is you know what? At the end of the day, this is the crazy new chick flick. Yeah, really. No kidding. I'm not kidding. Yeah, it's kind of, well, as a twist at the end with my character that it will... For those who loved Escape from New York and the thing and
come on.
And pictures that I did like that, there's some stuff you don't see.
Why don't you just tell us the twist?
I can't because it's just too much fun. You guys are. Yeah. I hope the three of you see it together so you can like elbow each other.
We will. Girls don't like us.
Oh.
Hey.
As long as Jimmy doesn't cut the bottom out of the popcorn again. That old gag.
A question about Escape from New York. This has bugged me since 1981. Why, when Donald Pleasance is hauling you up the wall, does he have to stop your ascent to shoot Isaac Hayes?
Just to aggravate you. Just to aggravate you.
Are the Duke
and
of
make
New York.
you. Yeah. The Duke. Yeah. You know, just to aggravate you and make you say, you gotta get Snake up.
You know, they just hang out there while he's firing off at the president and he's shooting at you. It was just
he was a president who wore a blonde wig, so, you know.
That's one of those movies that if it's on, you're watching it. You know, you got to watch some of those. Are there movies, though, that you've made that at the time were like great movies, did very well at the theater, people loved them, but you look back and they didn't date well? One of them I just saw recently, and me and Jimmy have a love-hate relationship with this movie. We talk about it all the time. Tango and Cash.
Well, Tango and Cash is a movie that was made for 15-year-old boys. I don't know how old you guys were at the time. It's literally made for that audience.
Yeah.
It center punches that, you know. Once you move out of that movie's not meant for...
No, then it gets hysterical.
And then it's funny. And that's supposed to be that. No, what's been my experience is sort of the opposite, is that John Carpenter and I made movies years ago, Bob Zemeckis and I made Used Cars, and at the
Used
time...
Cars
oh my God,
really funny.
Yep. Cars,
we talk about that one all the time, too.
At the time, these movies were... they didn't really know what they were. They didn't really know how to sell them. And over the years, the audience that... has grown to love them. They're very proprietary about them. They really love them. It's like Tombstone. They're proprietary about that movie. That for them is the Western. And it's fun to watch the life that they have, because some of them, quite a few of them at the time, you know, they got kind of like a mediocre release, and then there was a lot of the intelligentsia that just flat didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Big Trouble in Little China was something that critics just flat didn't understand.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that. And this is another movie that, you know, I don't know what this movie's going to do. It's completely, there's nothing else like it out there. There won't be anything like it. And it's one of those movies that I know, though, the integrity is complete. It is exactly what it's supposed to be, and like it or not.
Quentin's dialogue is great, too.
Yeah,
he can write some great dialogue where you're just like, oh my God, this stuff is brilliant, hysterical, funny.
It really says something. It always says something. He's tremendous to work with.
Yeah.
There's something actors do, which I read. I was shocked too that you were the voice of Elvis in Forrest Gump, and it's an uncredited thing. And it's like, obviously you just wanted to do it because you love Elvis.
Well, no, I wanted to do it because I love Bob Zemeckis. Bob came to me and he said, "I need you to."
It's called a favor.
I need you to do something. I said, well, what is it? And he told me what it was, and I said, "Oh, cool." I said, "Let's not do a what do you call it, a credit."
Oh, you didn't want.
I said, because let's let people find this out over a period of time. And I always liked it because people would always say, well, now what was your most successful movie? And I always like to say, well, Forrest Gump. You made the most money.
Used Car. I'm such a dope. That's one of my favorite comedies of all time. That is one of the funniest films ever done. And people don't talk about it. Like that and Hollywood Nights, I think, were two of the funniest movies nobody ever talks about.
Well, you're wrong. A lot of guys do. You'll find them. You just got to find guys like you.
When they say comedies, they always find like Ace Ventura. People I talk to, they always mention these over-the-top, and that was just, this is a red effing car, Rudy. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. God, I forgot that. Such an ass.
Yeah, that was back in the day where
I think, right?
comedies.
It was Bob's second movie, and that's the same thing. I'll tell you what was great about working on this picture with Quentin was it had that atmosphere. When I was doing those pictures with John and with Bob, we were just a bunch of kids having fun, and we were just out there having fun, doing what we wanted to do. This picture is just like that. We were just doing what we wanted to do, and you got the Pied Piper leading the way, who's just a savant when it comes to film. I mean, there's nothing he doesn't remember or that he's seen, and there's very little he hasn't seen.
Yeah. He is a little. He comes across as a little twisted in interviews and stuff. Is he?
Well, he's manic. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's always logical.
Easy to work with.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, he's just a blast. I mean, but he's got his own world, and he creates it on film. Yeah, I mean, that's the Quentin Tarantino world, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely
it's a fun one to play in.
Yeah, unique look.
Yeah.
How fun was it? First of all, Frank McRae. For those who don't know, he's a big black guy. He was in used cars.
Great guy.
He shoved the old man in the car.
Yeah, how great was get in the car?
I don't want to look inside. Just get in the mother effing car. He shoved him in. It was the greatest bullying scene ever. And then you being beaten up by Jack Warden. I mean, how great was that?
With a chain. In a pickup truck.
What a savage! It was just a damn funny movie.
He talks about it all the time.
You can't not. It's one of those films. It just is everything. It was great tasteless humor. It was just the dead guy being driven into an exploding thing with gas on him.
It's a little irreverent.
What about Escape from New York? We're hearing things about a remake.
I guess they're gonna. I don't know. I mean, listen, everything's fair game. I've watched them turn Stargate into a television series and Backdraft into a couple
I don't understand why they have to remake some of these classic movies.
I don't know. Again,
it comes up from time to time. You're like what was the one with Peter Falk that we all loved that they made, and it was on the shelves for years?
The In-Laws.
I'm like, why would you ever remake this movie? It was perfect.
Right. I don't know. I mean, studios have different reasons. They see something that they think they can do well with.
And Escape from New York was just an amazing movie.
Yeah, well, listen, it'll always be there. John Carpenter's version is always going to be there. My version of Snake Plissken's always going to be there.
Yeah.
Hey, they're going to have to face comparisons, so they're going to be up against it trying to do a good movie. But I've done characters that were being done at the same time. I remember when Kevin Costner and I were he was doing Wyatt Earp, I was doing Tombstone.
Oh, right, yeah.
And you go out there and you throw it out there and you see what the people think.
That was an odd situation. That pretty much was at the same time.
Yeah,
a lot of people got confused. Yeah, like who the hell is who?
Why don't you play the president in the new one? That'd be great to see you as the president. Although the greatest sound in movie history is the clunk of your bat with the nail in it hitting that bald head in Escape from New York. That could be the best sound.
But when you play Snake, when you create Snake. Somebody said to me the other day, "Hey, would you do a cameo in Escape from New York?" I don't know if I can say this, but I'm gonna. And I said, "Oh, fuck that." I was Snake. I'm not gonna become the buffoon in the thing.
Yeah,
I'll do that now in a different movie, which is like that's part of what's fun about Death Proof is I got a chance to take that persona, that aura, and amp it up about 100 degrees and have a blast and turn it on its head.
Yeah.
Fantastic. We got to get him out of here. He's got to do the Today Show.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, we're having a great time with you, Kurt Russell.
You guys are fine.
The film is Grindhouse.
Amazing, yeah.
Next Friday it premieres, and it's done by Tarantino with obviously Kurt Russell and Rosario Dawson and Rose McGowan. It's just it's actually a film I'm looking forward to.
It really sounds great.
Just keep telling yourself over and over, it's just a movie.
Only a movie.
Well, we got Quentin, I think, next week too.
Yeah. Get ready. Hang on.
Yeah, he seems like
tie him down.
Can't wait for that one, man.
Chain him down.
Yeah. Hey, Kurt, thank you so much.
Thanks,
It's good talking to you guys.
Great.
It's fun.
We'll continue in just a bit. It's Opie and Anthony. Hey, man, that was a lot of fun. Kurt Russell rocks.
What a great guest.
It's the Opie and Anthony Show. Grindhouse opens next Friday.
And I hope the rest of you got the douche chills for me. When we mentioned used cars, I went, I forgot about used cars. What a zilch.
You gushed.
I loved your reaction. You're a true fan, man.
I love that movie.
Your headphones went flying off your head because you got excited, threw your hands up.
What a girl. And I just, I forgot about it. I can't believe I forgot. It's such one of my favorite movies.
You keep talking about used cars. I got to go see it now. I saw it back in the day. I don't even really remember much about it. I'm just gonna buy that movie.
It's so wrong funny.
The funniest line in that movie is Lenny and Squiggy from Laverne and Shirley are in it together, and they play cameramen. And they're filming a commercial that these guys are bootlegging, and the girl's top is ripped off. The hood comes up, and her top gets caught in it. And there's a live TV commercial. They're just jumping in on a signal, and her breasts are coming out. And he goes, holy, Lenny Squiggy goes, holy Jesus, she's caught on the hood ornament. Oh, don't you hate women? And he's filming her, and that was the great. Don't you hate women? It was just so unnecessary.
Let's go to James in Ohio real fast. James.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, James?
I guess I love you guys, love the show. Yeah, I just wanted to say to you guys, you just had Kurt Russell on. You guys are always, whining about you never have big guests on or anything. And that was definitely a big guest. Great interview, guys.
Well, the publicists out there have to wake up. We could do interviews. They all get scared. We go after a guest if they deserve it. Absolutely. But for the most part, Kurt hasn't done anything wrong as far as we're concerned, so we had a great time at the
Yeah.